The cafe hummed with soft conversations, the hiss of steamed milk, and the warm scent of fresh pastries drifting like a quiet invitation. Sunlight poured through tall windows, painting golden streaks across polished wooden tables. People sipped coffee, scrolled through their phones, completely unaware that within these cozy walls, something extraordinary was about to unfold. Near the glass counter, rows of muffins, croissants, and pies gleamed under soft lights, tempting anyone who walked by. And that's when he entered, a tall man in a sharp navy blue suit, holding the tiny hand of a little girl no older than 6. He didn't just walk in, he carried an air of quiet power, softened only by the way he leaned down ever so slightly. To match his daughter's pace, his name was Ethan Montgomery, a billionaire known for ruthless negotiations and an unshakable grip on the business world. But the headlines never told the whole story. They didn't talk about Ethan, the single father, or about Lily, his heart, his reason for breathing. Lily had been born deaf. To Ethan, it wasn't a flaw, it was simply who she was. But he also knew the world could be cruel, and he carried the heavy, silent wish to shield her from every sharp edge it had to offer. That morning, he wore his usual mask of calm control, but inside he longed for something no fortune could buy. Acceptance, not for himself, but for his daughter. Lily's eyes sparkled as she looked around the cafe, her little fingers clutching her father's hand. She loved places like this not because she could hear them, but because she could feel them. The vibrations of laughter, the soft clink of cups, the smiles that said more than words ever could. "What do you want, sweetheart?" Ethan asked gently, bending so she could see his lips as he spoke. He had learned sign language for her, but his movements were stiff, deliberate, more like a lesson memorized than a language lived. He pointed toward the muffins, trying to sign. Lily giggled, her tiny hands moving with a natural ease he couldn't quite follow, and as always, he felt that sting of frustration, the reminder that all the money and power in the world couldn't make their conversations effortless. And then a warm voice broke through. "Want me to help?" Ethan turned sharply, instinctively guarded. Behind the counter stood a young woman with her hair tied back in a loose bun, wearing a simple apron and a smile that could light up the room. Her name tag read, Clara. Without hesitation, Clara looked at Lily, raised her hands, and began signing fluently. Lily's eyes widened, her face glowing with joy. She answered instantly, her hands moving in an excited blur. Ethan froze. For a moment, he felt invisible, standing just outside a world he wanted so badly to be part of. His throat tightened, not from jealousy, but from gratitude so deep it left him breathless. Clara knelt to Lily's level, asking which treat she wanted. Lily pointed at a cupcake with rainbow sprinkles, clapping with delight. Clara laughed softly, a sound as genuine as it was kind. Ethan finally found his voice. "Where did you learn sign language?" he asked quietly, his usual composure faltering. Clara looked up, eyes warm yet steady. "My younger brother was deaf," she said. "I grew up signing. Even after he passed, it stayed with me. It's just part of me now." Her voice caught slightly, but her hands kept moving, making sure Lily never felt left out, not for a single second. Ethan, a man who had stared down billion-dollar boardrooms without blinking, suddenly found himself shaken not by business, but by kindness. Lily tugged at his sleeve, signing that she liked Clara, that she wanted to come here every day. Ethan smiled faintly, though his heart was a storm. For years he had feared his daughter might always feel alone. Yet, here in a small cafe filled with strangers, he had just witnessed the bridge he'd prayed for. And what Ethan didn't know, what none of them knew, was that this chance encounter wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning, because what Clara gave that day wasn't just a cupcake or a conversation. She gave connection. She gave hope. And for a man who thought he had everything, she was about to show him the one thing he truly needed. This is HQ, Infinitestories, where moments like these remind us, sometimes the smallest gestures can change a life forever.